Hey guys, checking back in again here. So I have all of my pieces. All the plumbing came in. The rest of the pieces, everything I made a run to the hardware store. There's a Home Depot near me, which is where I got a lot of the fittings like this here. It's been a week since the first part of the video here, so this past week has been crazy. But I finished our manifold, which I'm pretty proud of. Everything is really straight. It looks really good. Got the unions on both sides there, so again, if I ever need to pull this guy out, I could unscrew the unions. And the way that this flow is going to work, the pump will be, call this the pump, then we'll have our true union ball valve so I can make a shut off, unplug and service the pump if I have to. Then I have my check valve, which will be above that, with a 90-degree that will, we're laying on its side right now, so that's going to go horizontally now across the top of the sump. Essentially, it'll be over the sump, which will then go into this guy, and so the 90 will go like this. This guy will split. We'll have a regular 1.5 inch that goes across to that side, just like that. Then we'll have this split, which will go in like this right here. So, and now it'll hit the manifold, because this will be all very much pressurized. So there should be plenty of pressure to do this. I considered and even thought about having a 1-inch pipe here, but to me, why? There's going to be, like I said, there's going to be plenty of pressure. I'm going to have to valve it off with these guys. Use valves here that are on the return side. I'm going to have to already tune those, so there's going to be plenty of back pressure pushing water through this stuff. There's no reason to really make this smaller, and for that matter, if I do have to service this, I can still have water running. You might notice by now, wait a minute, you're missing something. Because if I unscrew this here and I unscrew this here, the water is going to be pouring out. Yes, I realized this, and in my head, I don't know why I thought, oh, I'll have a ball valve before and after that I can turn on and off. So I was like, well, nuts. At this point, it's kind of too late to buy a ball valve. So I went ahead and got a pair of gate valves, which will go here and here. And despite the cost, I mean, technically, I'm paying more here for sure, but despite the cost, it'll look cooler and or something. And actually, it's probably, well, no, it's probably about the same size. But either way, those true unions are much more expensive than both of these combined. I mean, that's a $2 at Home Depot, $2 at Home Depot, and these 1 inches, I think they were like 17 bucks. The true unions are like 25, 26 a piece. So, 6 one way, half dozen the other. No big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing some of these guys together and getting this manifold actually up and in. I'm going to go ahead and make kind of my little square here and verify, I want to figure out for sure if I do in fact want to use the full 1.5 inches. I'm pretty sure I do. I think I'm just going to do it. So, yeah, and then we'll kind of check back in. The first thing I'm going to do is I've got a can of air conditioner coil cleaner, because we cleaned our garage out, and that included putting one of our old AC units in the garage. I live in Texas, so it's like it's going to be 100 degrees today. So anyways, I'll check back here in just a little bit. Again, there's the manifold. I'm pretty proud of it. It turned out really well. So I've got 2 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch, and then 1 3/4. Just, I don't know why, I just thought, hey, it'd be good to have multiple sizes. So one can be for, there's my water change. I'll pull that out for water changes and whatnot. But anyways, we'll check back in here in just a little bit. Alright, so here is the finished manifold system. So right now I went ahead and closed all the gates. is a full gate system, which is kind of cool. I mean, a lot of people would argue, and the air conditioner's going, that's what the roar is in the background, but a lot of people would argue this is overkill, and I would agree. Really, you could have a ball valve here and a ball valve there, but at the same time, you know what? I mean, whatever. It works. These are smaller than ball valves, so it's easier to justify. This is already, I mean, the length from this side all the way across to this side is already pretty large under there. I'm just kind of looking. It's, you know, we're gonna be over there quite a ways. So I am figuring that this is probably about as small as I could go. I mean, I might have been able to make some of these joints just a touch tighter, but I mean, what, I might have gained an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter by doing that. So but that, you know, that time lapse, basically what I was wanting to show is, you know, make sure I wanted to do this to where I don't see any of the barcodes. You know, I don't really care about the barcodes, but that's also the these barcodes that are actually printed. Sorry, that's out of focus, but I wanted to make sure that those are not visible. I mean, it's going to be this way, and obviously the ones on the side here, you know, whatever, you can't do anything about those, but I mean, I could take them off. But again, I just wanted to make sure there's no just visible barcodes on any of the stuff here. I mean, this, again, this is a sticker, I'll pull that off, but you know, and really the most important thing is to get this 90 here lined up to where this is vertically correct, and then on the opposite side, you know, make sure that you've laid it out first on the opposite side, because if I'd accidentally done it here, it'd have been hosed. If I had done it going the same way the other way, I'd have had two like this. It's flipped over, right? So you just have to be careful and pay very close attention to how you're doing these pieces if you're doing a manifold system like this. So so now basically I can, you know, we can close this off, unscrew, well, close this off, unscrew these if we needed to service, if a snail or something got stuck in here, or whatever. You know, I could close these off. I could even, well, it wouldn't matter if I close these, but basically what I can do is I can unscrew this and pull this whole manifold out and service this if I have to, which, you know, run a pipe cleaner through it or whatever. You know, in retrospect, I should have done like threaded here, but at the same time, you know, I could just get a little PVC slip to thread and put it on each of these, and that'd be fine. So next what we're going to do is go ahead and build the return section. The pump is already set in there. You can't see it. It's right there, behind that hose, behind the white hose. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and pull that out and build that up here as well. See if I can't go ahead and get the check valve in along with the all the stuff that I need for that. So alright, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll try to do that. No, I will go ahead and do that on the time lapse as well. I'll try to make sure that I show you what I'm doing this time. So with this stuff, I wanted to also show, really, well, if you're just really careful, this stuff will last a long time. I mean, you just have to be careful not to goop up the threads whenever you're, you know, make sure to run the thing around on the bottom, not out here. People that run it, they run it all the way around the outside of the threads, and you see I even started right here, but you just clean that up and this will last so long. I mean, yeah, so anyways, but that's that. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get the 1.5 inch stuff going. Yeah, but we'll get that going and then we'll stop and talk again briefly. Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to talk real quick. This is, again, when you're welding stuff, which PVC is welding, you have to be really careful. This guy goes, well, with the O-ring, would go right here, right? So it will go on top of this check valve. Now, the thing is, grab the O-ring, don't ever lose anything. So O-ring is there, safe. The deal is, this has to go through there for that to work, okay? If I went ahead and welded this, I'm hosed. I can't do anything else. If I weld it, I have to cut it apart, but the way that I'm welding these where they're so close, I mean, that's it, it's over. You have to buy another of both of them. So, I mean, that's a $50 to $60 mistake, because I mean the check valve, this check valve I think is 20 bucks, 30 bucks maybe for an inch and a half. I got that off Bulk Reef, which I was looking at the other one. The other check valve I was interested in was like $100 bucks for an inch and a half size, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do that, especially when this one's 30 bucks. Probably does work better. So, and this one had the union on it as well, so I was like, all right, that's the one I'm gonna do. So make sure you have the parts in place before. Dry fit everything before, because that's a mistake I don't want anybody to have to deal with, especially myself. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and weld these, and then we'll continue. So and I'm back. See, I was testing you, because if you notice, I was talking about, oh, this side, but the problem is this is the dual-sided union. It should be like that, or this inch and a half is there too. So I'm probably going to go ahead and give myself a little bit of space here, but yeah, you gotta remember, I mean, that's why we dry fit everything. Take a look, test it, make sure it's right, dry fit, because I looked over here and I'm like, hey, what's this extra, this union ring, and oh, it's for my actual ball valve here, which this needs to go right here. So always dry fit everything, make sure it's going to work before you weld. Before you weld, I'll say that again, before you weld, check it all. So we're going to make sure that we get these both in here, and yeah, we'll be good. All right, and there you have it. We have our true union ball valve, which is already siliconed here. I mean, this is heavily silicone. There isn't, nothing's going to get through that. This guy, true union ball valve, I can do very coarse adjustments with here. I can make serious adjustments, like big coarse adjustments if I have to restrict outgoing water. My check valve going the correct direction so water cannot go back down, and then the 90 degree, which will continue on to the manifold. So manifold is over there. Yeah, we're in a good place. So next up we have to refit all of the fittings on the back of the I'm going to go ahead and clear out the silicone, or excuse me, clear out the pipe dope and re-silicone those fittings. But yeah, we got this little stack done, which is awesome. We have plenty of space clearance. We should have plenty of clearance for this to go on the next to the sump there. So sweet, just a couple more steps until we can get this guy under there and get water into it. So it'll be good. Thanks, guys.